quick abbreviated farewell video, and I'll tell you how much I sold it for. This is my last drive in my 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. It just doesn't do it for me. I feel like Toyota truly has deviated too far away from their original core values here with these new platforms. They offer unmatched peace of mind, right? They're just reliable, simplistic, and, well, they used to be affordable. Reliable, simplistic, and affordable. But those days are becoming a distant memory pretty quick, and that's sad for me as a Toyota enthusiast. Like the new generation Toyotas, they're just not it. I've owned the new Tundra, I've owned the new Sequoia, I own one, they're not it. These smaller displacement motors, strapping turbos to it, overcomplicating the entire thing. Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So I'm an idiot. I'm sure I'm gonna watch this video back this time next year, or not even, maybe in just a few months. I'm gonna watch this video back and realize how much of a mistake I just made. So just a couple hours ago, I sold my 2021 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro to Travis, and now, just a couple hours later, I'm dropping off my 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro to Peterson Toyota down here in Fort Collins. So, shout out to them. They were very pleasant to work with. Super easy discussion in regards to selling this vehicle to them. They're paying a very fair price for it. A price where they can still sell it pretty easily with a little bit of a profit margin easily. So shout out to Peterson Toyota. I really do appreciate them and the ease of working with them anyway. But this here is the last time that I will be with my 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, the last of its kind, the last of the naturally aspirated V6, right? This is old news. Sure, maybe it's a little lethargic in power, right? But that is not why we have always bought these Toyota 4Runners. We buy them because they offer that unmatched peace of mind that, well, quite frankly, vehicles like that do not offer, right? The new 6th generation Toyota 4Runner here in 2025 is going to share the same power plant as this Land Cruiser here, a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged platform and a hybridized platform for the TRD Pro and Trail Hunter anyway, but still just a very synthetic feel. And honestly, it's not going to offer that same peace of mind because there's a lot more complexity to that powertrain, right? A lot more complexity to it. You got the hybridized battery pack strapped to it, turbochargers on this smaller, tiny engine that's just constantly being wound up. Sure, it will prove itself over time, I'm sure, but not out of the gate, right? And not to mention the price tag. The price tag on the new TRD Pro is going to be $69,000 to $70,000, whereas with this one here, $56,000 was the price tag. And that's nothing to scoff at by any means, but comparatively to 2025 models, this will feel like a bargain this time next year. So I'm just going to do a real quick recap of my last brand new 5th generation 4Runner that I will ever own in this video. So we'll walk around to here, and well, you can tell me how much of an idiot I am. And honestly guys, hopefully you can't tell, but I do have a splitting headache right now, and perhaps it's my body's way of rejecting my decision to sell my 2021 V8 Tundra TRD Pro and the last of its kind naturally aspirated V6. In my honest opinion, and sure biased opinion, this 5th generation Toyota 4Runner just has such a timeless design, right? Even that side profile, it just looks incredible, especially with the roof rack. I've always been a huge fan of just the styling, the overall aesthetics, and the simplicity of the inside. I'll remind you here in a second, it's just unmatched, second to none. Love it. But if we're being fair with one another, it is long in the tooth, right? This has been out forever. This platform here, since 2009, right? And this has been, this platform is just super long in the tooth, and it is dated, right? And that's why there's a new one. Toyota does need to step forward. I'll kind of talk out of both sides of my mouth here on purpose. They do need to make something new. They need to offer new options. But quite frankly, I just don't like the new options. I don't love this, right? And I just have a hard time. I'm trying to come to grips with it, but it just doesn't do it for me. I feel like Toyota truly has deviated too far away from their original core values here with these new platforms. These smaller displacement motors, strapping turbos to it, overcomplicating the entire thing, right? Strapping a battery pack to it for hybridization is just too much and too much. It's just overkill. This here is the perfect balance. This is my last drive in my 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. This is the last time that I'll ever have owned a brand new 5th generation Toyota 4Runner, right? And it's kind of like that idea is definitely bittersweet because this is, no kidding, the last real 4Runner, right? The last 4Runner, and I know it's cliche to say that, but I truly do believe it because it is the last rugged body on frame design with a naturally aspirated platform, right? So it has that 4-liter naturally aspirated V6 tied to that bulletproof 5-speed automatic transmission. This is, mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 5-10 years, this is going to be the sought after 4Runner because it was the last real one that is reliable and actually offered peace of mind, unmatched peace of mind. The new 6th generation, although it's going to be cool, I'm sure it'll be cool, you know, people will grow to love it because it will be our only option. So we'll have no choice but to grow to love it eventually, right? Maybe not right out of the gate, but that will have that tiny 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder underneath the hood, right? And it'll be faster, it'll be better performance numbers, blah, blah, blah. You can read the brochure to your friends all you want, but that's not why we buy a 4Runner, right? We don't buy the 4, we don't buy Toyotas generally for that reason. We don't do it to brag about performance numbers. We buy it because they offer unmatched peace of mind, right? They're just reliable, simplistic, and, well, they used to be affordable. Reliable, simplistic, and affordable. But those days are becoming a distant memory pretty quick, and that's sad for me as a Toyota enthusiast. You know, like the new generation Toyotas, they're just not it. I've owned the new Tundra, I've owned the new Sequoia, I own one, they're not it. They don't scratch that same itch, and I don't care what anybody tells me, that they don't, right? And you can justify it to yourself all you want. Heck, I even tried justifying it, because I, like everybody else out there, when you buy a new vehicle, what do? We try to justify our purchase. We try to justify spending all of that money, and at the end of the day, it just isn't it. It is not what Toyota's core values have always been about, unfortunately. They've deviated, they've chased carbon credits, green credits, if you will, and it's a shame, and I mean that, and I truly feel that way. You know, if I ever own another Toyota again, which I will, I'm sure I will, it will not be a new generation, right? And if it is a new generation Toyota, it's going to need to be proven, and it's probably going to be a few years out before I want to jump on a new one again. TRD skid plate down here, Fox TRD tuned suspension, but just the body lines of this, it will continue to age well, and people will continue to want this for sure. These soft text leather seats, although boring and basic, these age extremely well. Go look at a 2010 Toyota 4Runner that has the same exact seats in it, or 20, whatever, however, you know, 10 years old and 150,000 plus miles on them, and they just look brand new still. They don't really crease out quite like other seats, so I always appreciated that with the 4Runner here in particular. You know, being a family man myself, this here has always been insufficient, of course, for having a family the size of mine, and we have 4 kiddos, and well, they obviously have been in here, yikes. But 4 kiddos, that's not going to work, right? You don't get the 3rd row option with the TRD Pro anyway. But one thing I'll remind you, you know, this here, plenty of cargo space, and unlike that vehicle right there, and unlike the 6th generation Toyota 4Runner, it has a lot more space. It doesn't have that giant 6-inch bump up here to allow space for the hybridization, the battery pack, right? That is stored underneath the cargo space. Love the manual hatch. I just appreciate that type of stuff, because everything has just gotten so electronic and so complicated. And I'm just kind of, maybe I'm an old soul, maybe I'm just grouchy at this point. I appreciate that about vehicles. The simplicity, we don't need to overdo everything, right? Nothing more than what you need. And I'll remind you, perhaps you'll scoff at this, but I'll remind you of what the mileage is. 172. It's laughable, I know, and I've never done this before. I've never purchased a vehicle, only put 172 miles on it and sold. I've never done this, but granted, I kind of bought this to kind of store in the garage for a little bit, maybe drive on the weekends here and there, but the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro was always my daily driver, and the Sequoia was the family hauler. So that's why this never got that many miles on it. If I buy another Toyota, it will likely be a Land Cruiser Heritage Edition, a 200 series, with the trusty 5.7 liter V8. I'll likely get back into that. So this is just me kind of memorializing, if you will, for lack of better terms, my last drive in my 4Runner TRD Pro here. The last time I'll ever drive a newly purchased 4Runner TRD Pro, and it's kind of pathetic, I understand, guys, because I didn't drive this hardly at all. I bought it, I had it in my garage. I was going to keep it for much longer than what I did, but like I mentioned, I truly had an opportunity to buy this business, a brick and mortar company in my hometown, which will prove much wiser for my family anyway for years to come, right? if it comes to fruition, right? I'm working it. So I'll wrap up the video there, guys. I just wanted to make this quick, abbreviated farewell video, and I'll tell you how much I sold it for. It was $57,250. I had plenty offers out there. Offers, obviously, a lot of flaky people online, a lot of flaky people just in general, right? And we even had a pretty serious $59,000 offer. Shout out Terry from Florida. I'm sorry that we couldn't make it work, but I appreciate the simplicity and ease of just taking it to the dealership here. And again, shout out Peters and Toyota. They were easy, very easy to work with. I just drove it down, I'm gonna cut a check, and I'll roll out. So very simplistic experience, very simple experience, excuse me. So wrap up the video there. You can tell me how much of a dippy you think I am. As always, I appreciate you watching. Until next time. This is it.